All right, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you're doing well. I realize this is a very odd time for me to come on. Just decided to take a sort of mental health day today. And what better to do than some baseball? So, what I've decided to do is take three games and I want to set up a kind of tournament project. And hopefully, this will not only serve as kind of a sort of fun project to just play around with, but also maybe as a tutorial. So, the three games I've chosen are Out of the Park Baseball 26, obviously. Um, and then we're also going to do Action PC Baseball. And then we're going to also set it up with Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. It's going to be the same teams in all three of these. Just play them out. A lot of these, are probably going to be auto played. So Pocket Pennant Run is going to be last because I had to do a little bit of a little extra work using a sort of tournament creator outside of it, since you can't create tournaments and schedule things like that yet in Pocket Pennant Run. So I know in the next update that there will be a schedule editor, which will at least make things a little easier, if not for creating dedicated tournaments. But we can create whatever seedings we want. But I also wanted to kind of show sort of the differences among the three games. And again, to be fair to Pocket Pennant Run, it's not set up for tournaments per se, where Out of the Park 26 and Action PC Baseball 2025 are. There are other games I was considering doing this. It would be pretty easy to do. Again, though it's set up not for, you could do it in like Action or APA PC Baseball for Windows, but I know that a lot of folks don't play that. Cousin Ken says, "Morning, cousin. Was just heading out for lunch. By the way, I was messing with Pocket Pennant Run and Tat. I think I might have an application I can use regular." I'm so glad to hear that, cuz. Probably be on for a while if you come back, but bon appetit, my friend, mon ami, and yeah, have a great lunch. JT Dutch joining us out here from the West Coast. Hello there, Beatles. Hope everything's going all right over there for you. It is. Just took a mental health day from work, and I needed to just hang out and do some baseball for a little while. So there we go. Philip Reynolds, and lunchtime for Philip Reynolds. So the guy's not playing hooky today, and guy's going out for lunch, and we getting kind of everybody now. A little seafood, cuz there you go. It's healthy. It's good for you. All right, guys. Now, before I start in this, though, I do want to make. I'm going to make a comment here, and I'm going to be repeating this comments in slightly altered form or whatever in the next two broadcasts. So this, just indulge me because there's a little drama brewing up, and I'm going to nip it in the bud right here. All right. Yep. JT Dutch gonna get some shut eye soon. To stay a little while, dude. I totally understand. This is something that people can catch later too, and it's pretty easy. So, but I want to start out just for 5 minutes. I've got to make some comments. That has nothing to do with this tournament and everything to do with not only this community but how some persons or one person, I'm sad to say, is stirring up some chaos outside and going after. Um, so I'll just get into it. You know, we're not going to mince words. So Paul Fay he is the play tester for Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, and it's his job, and he is not getting a penny from this. Just like for me, I mean, I'm not getting anything for quote unquote promoting Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. I do the game on this channel because I love the game. And I'm going to be rating dead ball managers, 19th century managers, and ballparks also for the 19th century and dead ball. I'm not getting a penny. I don't want a penny from them. All right. I want to see those eras represented properly. Now, what Paul's job is again job quote unquote. He's taken it upon himself to have people, um, you know, message him with bugs. Hey, Aaron Reed, how you doing? Message him with bugs. He tries to squash them down. He is the first line. He is the first line, and frequently he gets it done. So the other day when we were talking, somebody had brought up, ironically, the person I'm going to be addressing, and you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, but you'll know who you are. Had pointed out, as did another person, that the APA dice were wrong, right, and then that they were showing his 2D12. So that's going to be a quick hot fix. Other quick hot fixes, right? Now, Paul has done a lot of good videos explaining as far as how to do things in the Pocket Pennant Run software, things like that. All right, now, what Paul's job is not is to put up with toxic bullshit. Toxic bullshit. And there is a user here that has a history. And I've already seen this in the Facebook, so this isn't like some hearsay. All right, of just causing chaos for the sake of it. I myself have given him chances. I've been nothing but a gentleman to him. He's already been banned from the Pocket Pennant Run Facebook group, deservedly so. This person attacked Paul Fay because Paul wasn't explaining this or explaining that to his satisfaction. You know what? The little PDF manual that you get when you buy the physical game, whether it's the print and play or the the physical game, it's no. Is it the greatest manual in the world? No, it's not. I've said that. But the this person, and you know what? I could really make this and show you guys evidence, the whole thing. When you start attacking person again for their political beliefs, this person said to Paul Fay, I hope you're enjoying all those immigrants banging the children and all that kind of banging your children over there. That crosses the line. This person crossed the line with somebody's with a dear friend of mine making what, yeah, I know, I realized they may have straightened it out, but it was something. It was very bad on a live stream that night, and I warned, if that is, you know, ever if that line's crossed again. Well, that line was crossed, not in this chat, but it was crossed. So hear me clearly. It's not Paul Fay's job. It's not Craig Harris's job. It's not their job to hold your hand. I have done videos on Pocket Pennant Run how to play the damn game, how to do things. All right. Paul has done it. It's too bad if you can't remember. Go watch the videos. But now you're making personal attacks. And you have a history of this. You have a history of this. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you constantly trying to push your politics in here, whatever they are. You live in a country where things aren't going sideways, and you think it's so great, then you move the hell down here and you see how much they care. But beyond that, what you've done is you're representing this community not so nicely, pal. All right, people from that Facebook Pocket Pennant Run have been joining this community. When I talk about the community, I don't just mean this channel. They're discovering this channel. Al Red Sox fan, ID Jester, Sports Time Machine, RJO Network. All right, and when these people are coming in here, you know what? We always talk about this being a safe place and a place where people can come together. And, I realize on my broadcasts, things can go off the rails and we'll end up talking about mob movies or the hottest singer that, we find out there that we want to ogle, whatever. All right. But when you are on another platform, people know who you are. It was real. I felt badly for Paul. He IM'd me. Do you know this person? And I explained the history. The history. Steve Tate can tell you the history. I'm not trying to pull him in this. I'm just saying this person's not in the Fields of Dreams League. All right? That I've locked horns with him. And I have tried to give him the benefit of the doubt to try to build him up. But you know what? It seems like he just doesn't want friends. So, man, I'm done. I don't care whatever the rest of the community decides they want to do with you. I'm done with you, and you know who you are. You don't do that. If you have an issue with somebody, all right, your issue's with the game. Your issue is not a person. Here's a man taking his time. You know what? I don't see you, pal. I don't see you stepping up to the plate and saying, all right, maybe I'll help some people. I've even told you, you got a good voice. You got a good voice. Get on there. Help people. Read the damn manual to people if you want. I don't know. But you know what? You're attacking people personally. And your actions are absolutely, it's just reprehensible. And I don't like drama. I don't want to create drama. But I told Paul, you're going to be called out, and you're being called out. You know who you are. In fact, everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows who you are. Here in the Fields of Dreams Discord, the Ned McGreevy Discord, and they certainly know you by your real name on the Facebook group that you've been banned from. You've been banned from a baseball game Facebook group. How much of a how and you got banned because you get personal and nasty with people. You I'm done. I am done. I have given you the benefit of the doubt. You know who you are. You are all these broadcasts. I'm done with you. You want to make up a lot of aliases and you want to come in here and you want to start shit. Go ahead. And you know what? It's not that I have a bunch of mods here. I'll deal with you. I'll deal with you. I'll boot you on site. This is not cool. If it was right, it's not just about that, but it's about abusing a guy, going after a guy who's offering his free time to 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 do some bug squashing and whatever, and reporting issues to the dev, and to help the dev get, while the dev can concentrate on further development and getting these updates out for this excellent game. And that's too bad. It is really too bad. You know what? A lot of us want a proper manual for this game. All right, it isn't out there yet. Deal with it. You've got there are two people that do a lot with Pocket Pennant Run on YouTube, Paul Fay and me. And you know what? If you can't follow how to do these things, that's on you. All right? That's one thing. But when you get abusive and make comments like, in fact, I'm going to read them, and you guys should know me well enough that I'm not making shit up. Okay? I'm not. You guys know me. All right? And so, all right. Are you ready for some of this? Okay. So, all right. Just to give you yeah, and Paul gave this person another chance. All right, here we go. I was talking to him about baseball, trying to help with a crash, and then he started abusing me, started accusing me of some political agenda. And when he found out I was from the United Kingdom, he said, and I quote, "You must love your kids getting pounded by those immigrants." And worse, Paul continues, "I don't need his shit." Hey ho, some sad gifts. Craig got into it with him and banned him. I mentioned he has a history of this. And Paul says, "I know he gave me abuse once before, but apologized, so I gave him another chance. Thank you for your support." All right, guys, that's what's going on. Again, yeah, we should be. We should be. Yeah, Wayne came in late, but sounds like you're dealing with some crap. Ban the guy, move forward. No, that's what's going to happen. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So, guys, I'm sorry. Thank you for allowing me this little time to let you know what's going on. And I will ask some of you that, again, I gave everybody wrenches in here to as a thank you for loyalty to the channel. But I'll just remind you also that if you do see people and I don't catch it, they're coming in started. I never ever second guess moderators. Somebody comes in here and starts shit, just knock them out. But in the meantime, I am going to do a ban. He has at least 2 names, 3 names actually. You know who you are, pal. So I'm not going to ban you until you hear this. All right? I'm done. I'm done. You have no idea. I'm going to say one last thing. How many people tried to go to bat for you, including a good friend from across the pond, tried to go to bat for you in the Fields of Dreams League, tried to deal with you. Dude, you know what? You're just, it's sickening because you can't even deal. You don't even see when somebody is trying and was trying to be your friend, and you slap somebody else's face. You slap somebody in the face, man. Hey, tape saturator. All right, guys. Now get back to the focus of this, and I can calm down. Thank you. All right. So tournaments are kind of fun things. They're things I kind of had to grow into, because for me, baseball is about the long season and things like that. But I thought it would be really fun. I found this really cool article from Boston.com that rated the best, what they feel is the best team for every Major League Baseball franchise, right? Deep breath and away we go. There we go. Thanks, Wayne. Um, and I think tournaments are fun now because they give you a way to kind of just get through a fun sort of what if project. Let's see. Now, is this going to be about is Boston.com, right? And I'm going to show you the website in a minute. I've got it minimized in another browser so we don't have ads and stuff like that. Um, so I just thought it would be fun to create the tournament in two games that handle them natively. So Out of the Park 26 and Action PC Baseball 2025. We're also going to do it in Pocket Pennant Run. And I'll make all these files available. Um, if you want the Pocket Pennant Run thing, pretty easy. I'll be putting a link out there to this article. So let's bring it up first before we actually start creating, because I think it's kind of fun. So this is Boston.com. And this was, so credit to Noah Trister, the Associated Press. This was written 24 October 2017. Okay, and it's a great, great article. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the link to this article, and it has all the teams and the whys and wherefores um, in the chat. So read it now or read it at your leisure. Either way. Okay, there you go. All right. So yeah, so Tape Saturator and I, we have something in common. We're both musicians, man. So it's he goes the old school sound, and while I love the old school sound, the stuff I tend to write is more on the other end of the spectrum, a little bit more produced sounding. But still, man, fellow muso in here, dude, love it, love it, love it. By the way, quickly, not baseball related, but may the memory of Val Kilmer uh, be eternal. So that was a bit of a wow. 65 and died of pneumonia. So, all right. So this is it's a really good article. So I'm not going to read all this stuff here. I'm not going to read all this stuff. Um, though this would seem to be a collaborative efforts from sports writers from around the Associated Press. Okay. Now, that being said, maybe we'll do. So for Action PC baseball and Out of the Park baseball, it's going to be easy to put the few dead ball teams that are in here. Um, but what will be fun, because we can decide normalization and try different sorts of things or whatever. But what will be fun with Pocket Pennant Run when we get to it, and that'll be in a few days. Today is just for Out of the Park baseball. This subject. Um, is that when the home team is a dead ball team or a 19th century team, then the players from the modern era are re-rated to how they might perform in the dead ball era. Conversely, if the live ball, so 1920 and to today team is the home team, the dead ball visitors are re-rated to now in Pocket Pennant Run. So that's a nice little touch for what really is a cards and dice game. So it'll be interesting to see, especially in Pocket Pennant Run, how these teams are going to perform. And again, this is all for fun, all for fun. And I decided to do Out of the Park first, just to show you guys or the setup, because the setup is the easiest of the three games in Out of the Park baseball. Out of the Park baseball, like Pocket Pennant Run, has a low barrier of entry. You get every season. Um, for Action PC baseball, you would have to own the seasons to get these teams, or a lot of the teams that are going to be in this tournament are also on baseball's top 160 teams that you can purchase from Dave Cook Sports on the cheap. It goes on sale so much, and it's one of the coolest things you can buy for that game. All right, so who's going to be joining up here, man? Well, we got the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates. Their record 103-36. 103 wins, 36 losses. And so, as he writes here, that's the equivalent of 120 win, 42 loss record today. They were absolutely dominant. Um, this was a year before the World Series started. Next up, again, I'm going to leave all this guy all this for you guys to read. I just want to name off the teams, and then we're going to start adding them. The 1905 New York Giants. So they were 105 and 48. So you can tell this is going to be pretty tough. So the Hall of Famers, let's go back to the 1902 Buccos. The Hall of Famers in this team were Fred Clark, Hannes Wagner, and Jack Cheeseborough. For these 1905 New York Giants, John McGraw, because McGraw was also a great player. He's in there as a manager, but also as a player, not for these Giants. But anyhow, John McGraw, Christy Mathewson, Roger Bresnahan, Joe McGinnity, Hall of Famers on that 1905 Giants team. Tough. The 1906 Cubs, they were 116 and 36. That's insane. That's also that same powerful 1906 Cubs team that lost to the 1906 Hitless Wonders in the World Series. Okay. I already put you. Don't you be getting me started now. Don't get me started now. I have the link up there, Clinton. If you click on it, it says Boston.com. You click on it up there. Do I have to put it in for you again? You're such a wanker. I will. It is in the chat. What are you talking about? Look, fuck. Well, where should we put it? It's up on the screen. About posting this article in the main screen. Oh, do you mean in the comments for future viewing? I will do that. In fact, you know what? I'll do that right now. So Clinton set me straight. Here he is. All right, Clinton. Let's do this. All right. Can I edit the comments from here? Yeah, there we go. All right. Boom. Thank you. Crikey. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, the things I got to deal with here in this community. All right, now I got to settle down and back to what I'm doing. So, who do we have here? Frank Chance, Three Finger Brown, Joe Tinker, Johnny Evers. Chance was also the player manager of this team, 1906 Cubbies. And here's, I love this honorable mention. The Cubs dipped in 1907 to 107 wins in 99 and 1908. The Cubs were, again, along with the Pirates and Giants in the National League, the first three dynasties in modern baseball. All right, next up, the 1912 Boston Red Sox. Tris Speaker and Harry Hooper. And of course, should be, too bad we can't put Smokey Joe Wood in there had he not slipped and hurt his pitching hand. Jake Stahl, the manager of that team, 105 wins, 47 losses. It's going to be a tough league. It's going to be a tough tournament. All right. Next up, the 1917 Chicago White Sox. And I'm so glad the AP agrees with me. Everybody talks about the 1919 White Sox, and that's because of that World Series. But many, many, many baseball historians and then also students of the history of the game like myself consider the 17 White Sox not only the better team, but probably the best team of the dead ball era. So the Hall of Famers in this one, Eddie Collins, Ray Schalk, Red Faber for the 1917 White Sox. With a record that year, again, of 100 wins, 54 losses. Okay. All right. So next, and again, we might want to switch this up a little bit just because these guys get overplayed. But for this first tournament, what we're going to do, I think, is go ahead and have these teams in there and then switch some of them out. So obviously, 1927 New York Yankees, Miller Huggins is the manager of the Hall of Famer, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Earl Combs, Wade Hoyt, Tony Lazzeri, and Herb Pennock. All right. 110 wins, 44 losses. So it'll be fun to kind of play around with this after we go through a couple times and changing up some teams, because I am actually a bigger fan of the 1936 New York Yankees because you got Joe DiMaggio in his rookie year and Gehrig just breaking out and raising hell all over the place. But the only reason why we'll leave them in here now because it's in the article, but these guys are like just so overplayed everywhere. All right. Truth Hurts Wilkie says had a Diamond Mine League playing head-to-head Monday morning, and Robbie Witt had 4 home runs, including a grand slam in the bottom of the 10th for the win. First time he had someone hit 4 homers a game. Congrats, man. Congrats, man. Yeah. Come on, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. I hear you. All right, let's move on from these 27 Yankees. The next one, No brainer. The 1925 Philadelphia A's. These guys were beasts, man, managed by the great Connie Mack. 104 wins, 46 losses, including Mack. You also had Lefty Grove, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, Mickey Cochran, and Eddie Collins. Now, we are going to have doppelgangers, so we already have one, Eddie Collins. That's fine. These guys were just, they were ridiculous. Just this 3 year run that Connie Mack put together between 1929, 30, and 31. These guys are going to be a force to be reckoned with. All right, let's go. I don't know who's getting picked. So next for the Tigers, the 1935 Detroit Tigers, managed by Black Mike, Mickey Cochran, player manager. Record 97-54 that year. Hall of Famers in that team: Mickey Cochran, Hank Greenberg, Charlie Gehringer, and Goose Goslin. So good stuff. Next, and you already called it. Who called it? Wayne called it. So for the Cardinals, the 1942 St. Louis Cardinals. So remember, guys, that World War One, right? We declared war on Japan December 7th, 1941. 42 was um, still a good season. You know, things didn't really get rough with baseball till 43 and 44. But 1942, an excellent season. So managed by Billy Southworth, who is a Hall of Fame manager. Record 106 wins, 48 losses. And they beat the Yankees in the World Series that year. And so Southworth, Stan Musial, Enos Slaughter. Guys, this is a great article. Next up, the 1948 Cleveland Indians, managed by Lou Boudreau. Record of 97 and 58. Hall of Famers on that team, including Boudreau, were Joe Gordon, Joe Flash Gordon, there he goes, Bob Lemon, Larry Doby, Bob Feller, and Satch Paige. Um, so, yeah, good stuff. Next, this one I don't agree with, but I'm going to put it in here. The 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. So they this was only this was the only world championship brought to Brooklyn. 2 years later, they went to LA, and in 1959, they brought LA its first world championship. I am of the school that the 1953 Brooklyn Dodgers are a better club. But because we're representing World Series winners, it seems that's what Boston.com is doing for the most part in this article. We'll go ahead and stick with this. All right, so they again 98 and 55. Walter Alston managed these Brooklyn Dodgers, and Hall of Famers in addition to Alston: Duke Snider, Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, Pee Wee Reese, Sandy Koufax, who admittedly this is rookie time for him, um, and Tommy Lasorda, who really didn't get any playing time. But you just look at Snider, Campanella, Robinson, Reese, and again we're at the beginning of Sandy Koufax's career. All right, next up, the 1957 Milwaukee Braves, managed by Fred Haney, 95 and 59 record for them, beat the Yankees in the World Series. Hall of Famers: Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Warren Spahn, Red Schoendienst. Schoendienst in there more as a manager, but a pretty good defensive fielder. Next, the 1965 Minnesota Twins, managed by Sam Mill, put together a record of 102 wins and 60 losses. So this team really standing out because there's one Hall of Famer, Harmon Killebrew. So, but there's some really exciting players on here, and the chat's blowing up. Tony M. greeting Beatles and chats. It's cold and rainy in Chi-Town, so nothing new here. Sounds like a fun project. I think it's going to be fun. JT Dutch speaking for the Dodgers because he is our Dodger fan in here, along with D. Scott Howard, who isn't here. He said it's hard to rate the best Dodger season because they never truly been dominant in any of the World Championship seasons. True. Although, boy, you guys are off to a hell of a start this year. Man, oh man. So you guys are tied for the best season start through 8 games. You guys are 7-0 right now. God, my Pirates like 1-6 or something. We suck. So, yeah, I mean, if I were to rate this, again, going back to those Dodgers, JT, I think that if you look at the numbers, the 52 and 53 Dodgers, I think were a better team, numbers wise. But again, having the Brooklyn Dodgers anywhere, I love the Brooklyn Dodgers. I belong to like Brooklyn Dodgers, like groups and blogs and whatever. Man, I love the Brooklyn Dodgers. Just full stop. Love them. Oh, he's here. Okay. So, uh, And hey, there. Oh, Jim Cott also Hall of Fame. Yeah. So looks like yep, the year of Zorro absolutely waned. Um, so yeah, how about a Clinton Parks? So Sandy Koufax will forever thank Johnny Padres for teaching him how to pitch and not just throw. Amen, brother. Amen, brother. All right. So let's if you play the 1966 season, says Truth Hurts Wilkie, with the Dodgers with about every game out there with cards and dice and computer, it's hard for them to win independent through weak hitting. So you're right, and that's how that I've talked to other gamers about that. Our Red Sox fan was one of them. He said this is it was a tough team to manage. They weren't a powerhouse team at all. The Dodgers in the mid '60s. So that's a really 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 good point shared by quite a few people. Truth Hurts Wookie predicting if the Dodgers stay healthy this year, he sees them winning 115 or more. Yeah, pretty easy, pretty good prediction there, I'd say. The Padres, yeah, I'd like to see that. No offense there, JT, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing San Diego uh, getting in the mix, getting in the fray. So we'll see. God, those poor guys. There's the ginger-headed stepchild of baseball, but the Padres out there, they do it quietly, and every time they've been to the postseason, it's been wow, holy moly, the Padres are here. Okay, moving on, guys. All right, 1970, Baltimore Orioles, managed by we all know who this guy is. Their record 108 wins, 54 losses. And they took out the Twins in the ALCS and beat the Reds in the World Series. You got Earl Weaver, Jim Palmer, Frank Robinson, and Brooks Robinson. The Robinsons are just insane. Moving on. So this is also gratifying to see this one too. The 1976 Cincinnati Reds. So, of course, the Big Red Machine. And I've read many things by many baseball historians who have said that, yeah, while the 75 Reds might be the most popular, largely due, or like more famous, well known, whatever, to a casual fan, largely because of that great 1975 World Series, many historians believe this was actually the better iteration. So managed by Sparky Anderson, 102 wins, 60 losses. Um, and swept the Yankees in the World Series. So not only Sparky Anderson as the Hall of Famer, but you got Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez. All right, Harvey's wall bangers. I have a feeling here, guys, that these are going to be kind of like this is going to be even if the Brewers aren't your team, and I think we only have like one Brewers fan in the community. I think Kurt Berglund is isn't he's a Brewers fan, so two. Nathaniel and Kurt Berglund. Anyhow, so Harvey's Wallbangers record of 95 and 67, um, and of course lost to the World Series 4-3. But a lot of people they captured a lot of people's imaginations. Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, Raleigh Fingers, Don Sutton. So of course Fingers and Sutton better known as Athletics and Dodgers respectively. But there you go. All right. Next up, so this one I think is a good choice for the Mets, the 1986 Mets. I know a lot of people would like to see the 69 amazing Mets, but this 1986 Mets team, and I'm not a Mets fan, this 1986 Mets team was crazy. Um, so D. Scott Howard says he was a Brewers fan in '69. Wayne says he likes the '75 Reds over the '76 team. So maybe once we run through this project, we'll go back and say, okay, community, you want to replace any teams because obviously this is highly subjective, and from Boston.com by all these AP writers who got together. Uh, so who knows? Maybe in the next round, because tournaments, I'm thinking for this first time around, it's going to be single elimination. Boom. It's win or go home, one game, and we just go through. Everything's going to be best of one, so it'll go fast, and we'll do that with all three of these. Then maybe the second time around, we sort of fine tune everything, and then we play it out a little bit longer. But this is just fun. It's just going to be fun for me. And again, the other reason is this sounds weird, but this isn't all in preparation actually for McGreevy in Out of the Park 26. So I'm just trying some different things with Out of the Park 26 to get kind of my mojo going with that. All right, 86 Mets. Of course, even if you weren't alive yet, like Aaron Reed or whatever, everybody remembers this World Series. Everybody, this is a great, great World Series. And in some ways, I think it's a close analog to it would be the 1975 series, right? So Pudge, right, willing that home run fair, and then of course, poor Mr. Buckner, huh? So just an exciting World Series with two amazing teams. So the New York Mets here, Gary Carter, your Hall of Famer on this team. And a record of 108.54. All right, let's move on. The 1993 Toronto Blue Jays managed by Cito Gaston. And now it looks like this is the first manager I'm seeing here now that's not in the Hall of Fame. Anyhow, 95 and 67 that year. And of course, we know what happened in that World Series. Okay. So the Hall of Famer is Robbie Alomar, though we kind of spit his name out a little bit with Paul Molitor and Ricky Henderson. If you don't know, I mean, it's of course of the sexual abuse thing, whatever. Okay, but anyhow, good team, Blue Jays. All right, next up, here it is. This one, okay, forget what I said about Harvey's Wallbangers. This is going to be the one, the team, the people are going to be like, okay, how are they going to fare? The 1994 Montreal Expos, 74 and 40. Of course, Pedro in the Hall of Fame there. Boy, if it the strike, huh? Oh my God. I think these guys could have gone all the way, won a world championship. So I think a lot of eyes are going to be the 1994 Montreal Expos. Next up, the 1998 Houston Astros, managed by Larry Dierker. 102 wins, 60 losses. Um, Fell to the Padres here, as you know, in the National League Division Series. You got Biggio, Bagwell, and Randy Johnson on this team. Hall of Famers. The 1998 San Diego Padres. So interesting choice here. Bruce Bochy's team, 98 and 64. Lost to the Yanks, was swept by the Yankees. Tony Gwynn, your Hall of Famer on this one. Moving on, the 2001 Seattle Mariners. What a story, man. See what I did there? You got me. I love it. So let's get back. I'm going to catch up with you guys here. So Wayne saying that the 82 Brewers way too short on pitching. Poor Billy Buck. Truthor's Wookie made a trade in that league. Have wit. 3 months ago traded De La Cruz for Andres Munoz. Relief pitcher Royce Lewis, and a 1 and 2 pick for next year's draft. Needed a third baseman, but Lewis is hurt again. So let me see. One of two seasons I refused to play, says Clinton Parks. Was Bill Buckner's walk-up music really Bend Down Low by Bob Marley? D. Scott Howard. Oh, man. Ouch. So the 2001 Seattle Mariners. I was pulling so hard for this team in 2001. Buckled down, and they got their butts whooped by the New York Yankees. But boy, that 106, probably the best team to never make the World Series, or one of the best teams to never make the World Series. 116 wins, 46 losses. I mean, was it cool? Sort of outside of the world of baseball in a way that, it ends up that it's the Yankees and it's 2001. Yeah, of course. I think that really lifted the spirits of the country in that dark year. But I think that when you had somebody like the Seattle Mariners, had they won it, I think that would have been also something equally amazing for the country. All right, moving on. The 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks, managed by Bob Brenly, so a 92 and 70 record for them, and also decided let's win a World Series. So Randy Johnson, the Hall of Famer on this one. So we're going to see Randy Johnson, another doppelganger, no problem. In tournaments, I don't care about doppelgangers. All right, the Angels, the 2002 Anaheim Angels, managed by Mike Scioscia. So their record 99 and 63. And then took care of the Giants in the World Series. Not a lot to say there. It'll be fun. And again, this article's for you guys to read. So the 2003 Florida Marlins, 91-71, and there you go. Beat the Yankees in the World Series. We got Pudge Rodriguez. Now I know I'm missing some Hall of Famers. Remember, this was written in 2017. This article, but I thought it really cool. 2007, Colorado Rockies, managed by former Pirate manager Clint Hurdle. So 90 wins, 73 losses um, in this one, and swept by the Red Sox. I'm sorry, in 2007. Of course, everybody knows that, right? All right. The 2008 Tampa Bay Rays, managed by Joe Madden, 97-65 record for them, and were beaten by the Phillies, of course, 4-1. And speaking of the Phils, here we go. So cousin Ken already off to have a seafood lunch. The 2011 Philadelphia Phillies, managed by Charlie Manuel, a 102-60 record for that year. Okay, fell to the Cardinals in the National League Division Series. The 2011 Texas Rangers, of course, because this was written in 2017, right? We didn't get the Rangers World Championship team. But this is Robbie's team, our dear friend Robbie. May his memory be eternal. Managed by Ron Washington, 98-64 that year. Lost to the Cardinals, but 4-3 in the World Series. But we did replay that World Series for Robbie, and the Rangers did win the World Series replay on here, so that was awesome. Boy, it just makes me smile. All right. The 2015 Kansas City Royals, managed by Ned Yost, a 95-67 record, and they defeated the Mets in the World Series. So there we go. That's let's keep going. Do we get everybody yet? Good gracious, did I skip a few? I think I did, because I don't mention talking. Did I even? Wow, what did I do? Did I scroll too fast? Because there's a couple teams I didn't mention, at least one. Where are they? Wow. Okay. Um, hmm. Did I scroll past them? Because when I was reading this last night, I saw them, and they're not here. So the other team on here that is missing, um, let me see. Do we got everybody? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe somebody made an edit to it or something. The other team that they have on here. Oh no, I'm looking. It was another list, so we do have the Buccos represented. I'd looked at another article that rated the 1979 Pirates as the greatest pirate team of all time, and that's now I know why I was like, wait a minute, what are the 1979 Pirates? And here's why. As a Bucco fan, so I miss Robbie too, Aaron. I think we all do. Um, the 1979 Pirates, right? The We Are Family thing, and people loved it. People got behind the Pirates all over the place in the United States in 1979. But I'm telling you, as a Pirate fan, they weren't even close. They were not the greatest Pirate team of all time. They were an excellent team, certainly. I would put the 1971 or 1972 Pirates ahead of them. And let's take the 1902 Pirates out of the equation for a minute. They're already in this league anyhow, or this tournament. Um, there were other better pirate teams. The '79 Pirates were awesome, with Omar Moreno stealing bases and Pop still with Pop in the bat yet, and you had the Cobra, amazingly filling in the and now a Hall of Famer too, the huge shoes of Roberto Clemente. But for my money, and again, Kent Tekulve, everybody loved Kent Tekulve, looking up there like a big old praying mantis with glasses and that wicked sidearm delivery that Teak had, and everything like that. But that other article listing the '79 Pirates as like the best Pirates team of all time is like, okay, no cred there, baby, as a Pirates fan. So I went searching elsewhere. Yeah, 19 and the 1960 Pirates, um, stronger pitching. Again, in a franchise, Pirates not a franchise known for pitching. We don't have any Hall of Famers as pitchers. We've had Hall of Famers who have pitched for the Pirates. The big difference. So yeah, 60, 71 Pirates, 72 Pirates. um, So this year we're celebrating, well, at least I am, the centenary of the 1925 World Championship team. They were a weird mix. They weren't, I wouldn't rank them as a great team, although I am going to do a couple games this year just to talk about that team because in 2 years then I've got to talk about the pain of getting spanked by the Yankees. But in what the 1927 Pirates were a good team. So anyhow, it's that there's where we are. Those are the teams, and now I'm going to start adding them. I'm going to start just by doing a little bit. I'm not going to do adding everybody, or people are going to be really bored by just watching me do this. But this will be a nice way for you guys to, if you're new to the Out of the Park franchise, on how to set up tournaments. So I strongly suggest if you do want to do tournaments that are cross era play like this, get Mike Silva's ballpark mod. Definitely get the ballpark mod. The uniform mod, I don't know if it's working better yet in the tournament mode of Out of the Park Baseball. It was a little squiffy in previous editions, so but I would say get it anyhow. But because what anyhow, it's gonna just automatically sign the ballpark's logos, everything like that. Okay, now we're gonna jump into Out of the Park 26. I'm gonna keep looking at the chat as we go along. So part two, when I do that, it's probably gonna be tomorrow night, Thursday. I'm not sure which, um, but uh, will be the Action PC. So setting up Action PC is a little bit different. All right, so welcome to Out of the Park Baseball. All right, so we're going to go to New Game. So when you're on the first screen, just go to New Game, and it's going to give you all the fun stuff here that you can do. Now, you can create tournaments out of leagues or existing leagues, whatever. We're not going to do it that way. There's no point in it. There's no point in it. So we're going to get out, and this is going to be historical exhibition. This is where tournaments live. Okay, I'm going to let things load in, and this is a super, super easy process. Super easy, but I want people to at least know how to do this. Maybe this is a part of Out of the Park Baseball you've never touched. There you go. JT Dutch. Yeah, please do hit me up, JT. Appreciate it, man. All right. So Clinton Park says, bums you can tell cousin I said that. He's ragging on my Red Sox, so we're at it always. 1986. He said it's the only season that Ken Castro and I turned into a pair of 12-year-olds. Love it. I absolutely love it. So guys, up here at the very, very top, of course, you can select any World Series that you want, but we are going to be creating a 30-team tournament. So just go down here and pick 30. And there you go. This is how we start setting things up. But I want to call your attention to this down on the lower right-hand side and left-hand side. I do not, well, yeah, you know what? The designated hitter thing, I don't like the designated hitter. But my 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 wonder at this, and I don't know, so I'm gonna get your thoughts here, guys. And this is gonna be for all of these games. Um, do we want the designated hitter only because the pitchers on these later American League teams, right? I mean, does that put those teams at a disadvantage, or does the pitching equal it out? And that many great hitting pitchers, that are going to be on any of the National League squads or earlier American League squads. So I don't know yet. So I'd like to get kind of consensus here, what you guys would like to see. I just out of principle don't like the designated hitter, and I want to leave it off. But over here, you can pick different strategies. Now, as we add in more teams here, you're going to see this list of years growing. Okay. And I think what we should do, of course, would be end of season rosters for all these, not opening day. So we'll do end of season. Active roster limit. I think 25 players is good. And we're going to turn off injuries because this is just win or go home. Do you like the DH or are you a baseball fan? D. Scott Howard pretty much succinctly, concisely answers the question. All right, no DH. In this one, maybe, you know what, in the next round, maybe people say, hey, let's just experiment, try with the DH. I don't know. Okay, so we've got 30 teams. How do you do this? It is so super simple. Bob's your uncle. Let me bring up that article and let's move it off of here. And so the first team's 1902 Pirates. So uh, the so out of the park baseball breaks everything down into eras. You can see there's 8 eras. There's actually 9 eras when you're in the main game because it also adds in the 19th century. So there are no 19th century teams available in tournament mode. I really wish they would fix that or incorporate that at some point. Anyhow, we're going to select dead ball era and 1902 and the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's how you add teams. That's it. It's that simple. Dwayne March says it right. DH. We don't need no stinking DH. All right. Oh, was there 32? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. What? Well, no, we're still at 30 teams, aren't we? Aren't we still at 30 teams? We're still 30 teams in baseball. Did it count? Did it have 32 teams? Blah 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 blah. 32. Blah, 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 da, da, ba, 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 ba. Yep, there's 30 franchises in this article, so we haven't expanded yet. So yep, 30 teams. All right. Thank you though. I always like to be checked. All right. Okay. Oh, just for an easy turning layout. If we would do that, what would be the 2 teams that aren't represented here that we would put in though? Because you would have Wayne, and I get what you're saying. You'd have a franchise not represented unless we put in the LA Dodgers. Okay, let's do 32 teams. Did you send me your 128 team league? I don't think you did, Clint. Did you send it in a messenger? I'll have to look. 128 teams. Wow. Okay. So what we could do? What about this? There are 2 teams we could add. All right. So we could add an old Washington Senators team, and we could add, even though they weren't a World Series winner, the 1922 St. Louis Browns. Would you guys be okay with that? So we'll add 2 teams to it. We've got to decide which Senators team, either 1913, so we still have Walter Johnson, or 1933. Or yeah, the 1924 Washington. Yeah, because they won. Okay, I'm sold. Are you guys all right with the 1922 St. Louis Browns? You guys cool with that team? All right. Oops. Now I put it to 30. I'm such an idiot. 32 Beatles. 32. There we go. All right. Got it. All right. 1924 Washington Senators and the 1922 St. Louis Browns joining the fray. I'm not going to put the St. Louis Browns of 1944 in. Let's face it. That's just not that. And the 1922 St. Louis Browns, 1 game back of the New York Yankees at the end of the season. That team is definitely deserving. Okay, so I just got to remember when I get into the 20s to do that. All right, next up, the 1905 New York Giants. All right, boom, boom, boom. So this part's easy. This is I should do one of those things, but this is a live stream, so I can't just say, well, I'll be back, after this is all filled in. So that's okay. All right, next. 1906 Cubbies. Just hanging out in the dead ball here a little bit. There we go. Chicago Cubs. So 1912. Boston Red Sox. And that's a great World Series too, by the way. That Red Sox Giants World Series, because the Giants, no slouches that year. Either. So the Red Sox were 105 and 47, and the Red Sox were 105 and 47, and the Giants were 103 and 48 that year. Hell of a World Series. Okay, so we've got 4 in. 1917, we're about to exit the dead ball era. Pretty close to being out. I'm going to double check to make sure that these teams, I have them all, but I'd rather do this from baseball's top 160 teams in Action PC Baseball rather than loading in all these seasons. That's just like, not looking forward to that. But still, Fun stuff. All right. Were the 22 Browns the team that gave? Yep, one game behind the Yanks. JT. The 1922 Browns were good, says Wayne. They absolutely were. Yes, the 1944 Browns did win the American League, but it was diluted. I mean, that was the year of one arm Pete Gray and stuff like that. David says he's late. Does this tournament feature a new thing at Out of Park 26? This could be done. No, it could be done in last year's game, 24, Out of Park 23. So no, this has been around for quite a few years. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the only thing, Wayne. Well, good, yep, good history there. But the 44 Browns, while they did win the American League, I think that the 22 Browns, just well, we'll be seeing their record here in a minute. You had Ken Williams on that team, George Sisler, Urban Shocker, and to finish just one game behind the Yankees, um, that just tough. Be nice to be able to have show Ken Williams in the tournaments. It'll be fun. All right. I don't know how Out of the Park is going to seed these or whatever. It'll be kind of fun. We can do whatever we want. All right. So we got the 17 White Sox in. And speaking of which, we go to 1922. So here we go. We are now baseball's rebirth era and 1922. And the St. Louis Browns 93 and 61 that year. So they are in. Okay, next is the 1924 Washington Senators. David, this is a really fun mode, by the way. It's kind of its own thing, apart from the main game. But I think you'd like it. I think you'd like it. Um, of course, David doing all kinds of good stuff on his channel, doing game of the week, doing just David's awesome. David and Tabby. David and Tabby. All right. Again, this is one we'll change up for another round, but for now, we got to put them in because they're in the article. The 1927 New York Yankees. Yawn, 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 but there you go. All right. 1929, baby, Philadelphia Athletics. Yep. Boop. Lefty Grove. Oh my God, I love the Philadelphia Athletics. Fantastic team. Ken Castro didn't have some great. I guess it was when he went to an APA tournament and didn't have great luck with the 29 Philadelphia Athletics. But all right, 1935 Detroit Tigers. So in another run around, it would be fun to like switch some of these teams out. So maybe what we could do. So this just occurred to me, guys, and hopefully we still have some few people in here. Yeah, there's still a few. Um, Maybe we keep track of the teams that get knocked out and then replace them. Although it'd be unfair if the Mariners get knocked out, but replace them with another version of their team. So, like we have the 35 Tigers. Some people might say, "What about the 84 Tigers?" Uh, what about this? Right, the 68 Tigers. What about the Tigers of 2024? They nobody saw that coming. So a lot of excellent Tigers teams out there to think about too. Not knocking these 34 Tiger or 35 Tigers, but just thought I would put that out there as maybe an idea of how we can do some um, just team substitution or whatever. The thing that's weird about creating tournaments is this starts to all get kind of like when you're putting these down there. And I've accidentally at times when I'm creating tournaments, I've put the wrong team, like, or I've clicked out. I'm like, wait a minute, where the hell are the so and so's? So there is that, but that's okay. 1942 St. Louis Cardinals. Love this team. Yep, do love this team. So we're still in the rebirth era here. 42, almost out of that one. And the St. Louis Cardinals. Where are you guys? Where are you, Redbirds? So for me, so these St. Louis Cardinals are great. If they would get knocked out, I would almost like to see maybe the Gas House Gang edition of the Cardinals in here, or some of those Cardinal teams in the 80s. So again, there's lots of things we can do with this. Lots of things we can do with this. So remember, just to get into this, guys, go to New Game and go to Exhibition Mode, and that's how you create tournaments. All right, what is next? 1948. Cleveland Indians. We're in the golden years. Yeah, they calls it the golden years here. All right. And we will change their name. I believe we can still change it. You can change the name in the regular game mode. I don't remember if we can change Guardians in the tournament mode, but we'll try. I can't remember. 1930 card. Yeah, those 31 cards were superb. They were superb. Those Cardinals teams, 1931, 1934. Yeah, 31 cards were awesome. Awesome. 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. Again, putting them in here. They are, of course, the only Brooklyn World Championship team. But if they get knocked out, I want to try my theory and the theory of others that the 1952 or 53 Brooklyn Dodgers were a better team, on at least out there, whatever. But they're in. Next up. GT Dots, they didn't win it all, but the 2017 Indians were pretty damn good. Absolutely. So if the 48 Indians get knocked out, 2017 Indians would be a good choice. What about the 95-96 Indians? They put together, was it? I think it was 96. Come on. Was it 95 or 96 that they lost to the Braves? So the Braves put together these great teams in the 90s and managed one world championship. I remember I was rooting so hard for the Indians that year because when Ted Turner had the temerity called the Braves America's team, I'm like, you idiot, that's it. So all love to Dwayne Martz, but Ted Turner was a dick. Yep, the 54 and 95 Indians, yeah. Indian clubs in 94, 95 were damn good and fun as hell. Absolutely. Yeah, asked him about the Indians and Todd B as well, our two big Tribe fans in here. Um, so I do want to show you guys, as I said, as we're adding more teams. So another decision would be fun to make in the community would be this. So we have game era and strategy. Now you can see as I'm adding in all these teams, all these years are coming here. We can choose to play this tournament either in default modern era or any of these years that that are being represented by these teams. So it could be fun. Might want to maybe do a little bit of research. I don't know. Or we just pick one, or we just let it go to default modern era, which would be fair across the board to everybody. I don't know. Let's move on, guys. Who's next? The 1957 Milwaukee Braves, and you can't argue with that. That's a fine team there. I mean, you got Eddie Matthews on that team, and of course Hammer and Hank. And the Milwaukee Braves never had a losing season. They never had a losing season. How about that? So they weren't so good as the Boston Braves. They were always finishing winning seasons in Milwaukee, and then moved to Atlanta and had some good teams too. But kind of interesting for this old franchise in a lot of ways. The Milwaukee years. What a successful run they had. How about it? All right, 1965, we jump ahead. This is a team that fascinates me, and I'm doing a replay of them and of the 1965 season here. Occasionally, I've shown a game on here, but you won't see too much of that here. I'm trying to take Clinton Park's lead here and learn a bit more about 19. See, I screwed up, guys. There we go. 1960s baseball. So 1965, Minnesota Twins. Win Twins. And I'm trying to remember if we even have any Twins fans in the community here, or even in the immediate family that comes to this little craziness here. Next up, the 1970 Baltimore Orioles. So we're now in the baseball boom era. The baseball boom era, by the way, for those of you keeping score at home. God, I need a life. All right. Who's next? The 76 Cincinnati Reds. Again, maybe a controversial choice. Maybe. I would love to talk for Cincinnati Reds fans. What do you guys think about them versus say the 75 Reds? And also, even though you see me doing this, it's because I'm like today. It's always American League on top, National League on bottom, which of course is completely inexcusable. But what are you going to do? All right. 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. So now we're in the defensive era. So 1982. I just love that we have games these days that allow you to do this. All right. JT Dutcher. Tom Seaver had gone to the Reds in 76. I think that would have been the best team of all time. Wow. So Wayne contending that the 75 Reds had more hitting. Um, yeah. JT Dutcher. And I mean, I'm not 1960s baseball scholar like Clinton Parks. Um, I do know. Yeah, I mean Sandy Koufax was, I mean without him, the twin. You're right. You're right, JT Dutch. Without Sandy Koufax, the Twins win that World Series. I really believe that. Pretty much the same as Walter Johnson in 1924. Yeah, and of course that performance of Walter Johnson. I still say we know about Kurt Schilling, the blood on the sock and all that kind of stuff, and him gutting it out. But let's not forget Walter Johnson in the 1924 World Series and Grover Cleveland Alexander in the 1926 World Series. I say, for me, all respect to Kurt Schilling and what he did there. Fantastic pitcher, no denying Kurt Schilling that. I'm not. But what these old men did, and one of them shell shocked, even Grover Cleveland Alexander and all those other things. Um, the guts, the sheer guts of Walter Johnson in 24 and Grover Cleveland Alexander in 26. I think were the two gutsy performances by pitchers in the World Series. And if you don't agree with that, you got to at least it's got to be at least up there with some of the other ones you can think about. Certainly Koufax, in '65, just being so dominant against a powerful Twins team. But I just, yeah, just wanted to, when you mentioned this, when you mentioned Walter Johnson in 24, you're absolutely right, Clinton. The 76 Reds led the National League in everything offensively, absolutely everything across the board. So, again, I love the spirited conversation because when I looked at the article, I'm like, "Yep, this is gonna engender some good discussion with the community, with everybody in here, with the family," and that's cool. I love it. I love it because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, as a Pirates fan, and I look at the Pirates' history in the except for 1973, because we lost Roberto Clemente, and that really just killed the team. 1973 was our only sub 500 season that entire decade, and we were almost always locking up with the damn Reds, and they obliterated us in 1975. We won the NLCS in 1979. We didn't obliterate them, but it was the Reds Pirates. That was like the Ali Frazier. I don't know who was Ali, who was Frazier between the Pirates and Reds in 1970, but that big red machine. We talk so much about great Yankee teams, and there's so many great Yankee teams. But just wow. I mean that decade for the Cincinnati Reds, that is so hard to match. I mean, that was just dominance, 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 crazy. Phillies, of course, coming of age. The Giants, kind of in the mix there. Certainly in '71, the Pirates beat the Giants in the '71 LCS and go on to beat the Baltimore Orioles in the World Series. But boy, what a run! I was thinking the other game. If I really wanted to do this, we'd maybe autoplay them. It would be possible, I think, for me to do this also in Diamond Mine Baseball, because damn it, it doesn't get enough love. Unfortunately, I cannot do this in Baseball for Windows. So, because there are too many teams past 1997. So, maybe a shorter tournament sometime in there just to show you the few of you that play it how to do it. All right. Anyhow, guys, let me see. I know this is really getting boring now. 1986 New York Mets. 86 New York Mets. Oh, by the way, exciting news from the Fields of Dreams League. I don't even know if those guys realize I promote their league, but it's not about, hey, do the same for me. It's just when somebody does cool things, I like to point it out. So I stopped in Steve Tate's broadcast last night, and so they're in season 10 of the Fields of Dreams League, starting with season 11. They are going to be integrating. They're going to be bringing in Negro League players. So that is super amazing, awesome. I'm guessing that they're going to be using Steve Tate's, so the Negro League players, and using the Major League equivalencies, which again maybe they have a different idea. I'm guessing. He's going to use those, and he did a couple years ago. He rated and based on those MLEs, about 400 Negro Leaguers. So I'm really really chuffed, and I'm glad they decided to do it, and are working through ways to do it. So that'll be in season 11 for you guys to follow the Fields of Dreams League. They're also doing like every other sport in the world right now too, but I did want to pass that along. Love to see it. All right, moving on, moving on, moving on. 1986, 1993. 1993. If a few of you hang in here, I'll be happy because we could maybe figure out some of these sorts of what, where do we want to, as far as normalizing this or whatever. Okay, moving on. 1994, I really think this is going to be a sentimental favorite for a lot of people. The 1994 Montreal Expos. There we go. Fewest wins of any team on there, but we know why. Rob Knight. Baseball dynasties. Okay, because I have his big book of baseball lineups. So Wayne's saying that Rob Nier's book Baseball Dynasties lists the 75 Reds over the 76 Reds and explains why in detail. More than he can go into here. Check out Rob Nier's work. So I love Rob Nier's big book of baseball lineups. I'm looking at it across the room here, and then I have what the other one is, a bigger book, and I'm trying to remember who wrote it, and it's also all-time lineups, and that one actually takes into account all these other ones too that Nier's book doesn't, but they're both excellent. Rob Nier's book is superb, and he does, and if Baseball Dynasties is in any way like the approach that Rob Nier did to the baseball lineups book, I'm sure it's superb because I love Nier's book, and I'd like to do a project based on Nier's book because he does some really interesting kind of honorable mention and makes, so I'd like to do something kind of cool beyond like just a vanilla all time greats franchise thing because they're all over the place. So I'm trying to think of something creative to do with the Nyer book. And damn it, what's the name of the other book? It's Fat. It is this fat book, and it's got a picture of, it's like a baseball on the cover. I can't see it right now. It's got a bunch of books piled up. But it and the Rob Nyer book are really really good if you're researching all time great franchise stuff. JT Dutch he says, read that book and simply disagree. The 75 Reds are just overrated. The 76 Reds have better hitting and better pitching. It's honestly not all that close. Guys, I'm enjoying, this is the kind of thing. So at the beginning, you guys let me go off. This is the kind of spirited discussion that's healthy, that's good, that's fun. Because, I'm looking at that and like, I want to kind of, I got to say this a little bit closer too, because I'm kind of on the 76 Red, I think 75 Reds, awesome team. But are they are they better remembered? And Wayne, I know you're not a casual baseball fan, so I'm addressing this as if I was a casual baseball fan. Would I know more about the 75 Reds because of that legendary World Series, right? Whereas it's kind of like, okay, a lot of baseball historians have argued that the 1972 Pirates were a better squad than the 71 Pirates. 71 Pirates win the World Championship. 72 Pirates don't. So I would have loved to have seen well, historically, it would have been fun for the Pirates to play those powerful Oakland A's teams. Um, there we go. 75 and 76 were equal in hitting, says Wayne, but the 75 Reds pitching and defense were better than 76. So I wonder if we look at a couple bellwether players maybe in each of those squads and looking at their maybe looking so you'd have the argument as a team. So from JT Dutch's side, right, 76 Reds led the National League in everything, right? Wayne is arguing from a player level. So I think that it would be kind of fun to see. So what we could do, guys, is if the 76 Reds get knocked out, we replace them with 75 Reds. I know much to the chagrin of the 1940 Reds, but or the Reds teams in the 90s or whatever. But we'll play with it. It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. All right. 1998 Houston Astros. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a lot of. Um, I'm not. I never was a Houston Astros fan. Please, no offense for anybody who is an Astros fan. It's just a franchise, and it has nothing to do with that World Series. This is just a it's just a franchise I just never really kind of excellent players and stuff like that. But this is one, and they'll get playing time. We'll see everybody. All right, 98 San Diego Padres. It's just the Astros aren't a team I think about a lot. That's all. And that's why I also wanted to just do something that really wasn't me picking it. All right, San Diego Padres. There they are. All right, we're almost done. 2001 Seattle Mariners. These are the power years. How about that? These are the power years. Almost through those. And Seattle, where are you? I know. Learn the alphabet. Almost done. Respected the Astros before they started banging on trash cans. Play a 7-game series between the 75 and 76 Reds. So one thing that would be interesting to do would be to use something like backtobaseball.com. And this would be a fun thing for a chin wag night, right? So let me show you this real quick. You know me, so I'm so easily distracted, and that's okay. I'm allowed. So you guys know about this site. I've done it many, many times, but we'll do it here again. Back to baseball. And love this site, man. This is great stuff. Great stuff here. Okay. So rather, and I'm going to drag this over here. So rather than just doing a 7-game series, which we still could do, would be fun. How about this? So we could go to simulation on this page. This is something that you guys all should visit. It's backtobaseball.com. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. We can do a more than 162 game series on one of these sims. Okay, so now you guys are looking at the Back to Baseball site. Okay, so there's all kinds of things you can do with this. I've shown this site a number of times, so I'm not going to go through again what you can go, but just go in and play with it. It's fun. Let's go to simulation and let's pick 2 teams. And you know what 2 teams we're going to play. Pick, right? All right. Now, what this is going to do, this is going to run 5,000 games. And here we go. Now, you can set lineups or players up and down or whatever, but let's just so let's save the home team. We're going to make the 1976 Reds because they're the ones that Boston.com put in the tournament. Okay, so we'll do it that way. All right, 1976 Cincinnati Reds, and then the away team going to be the 1975 Cincinnati Reds. And again, I mean, we can certainly do this also in a baseball sim itself. which would be fun. But I thought maybe we just have a little fun with this for a few minutes. Now, disclaimer: this does not settle the argument. We're just having fun. Okay, so here each player in the line or each player in the lineups chosen, including pitchers, play the complete game. The full career of each player chosen is used to determine the player's likely performance, unless the player played in the specific year. In that case, the player's performance is based on that year only. So fair, right? No consideration is given to differences in time periods. Thus, a 300 hitter in 1950 is considered able to hit 300 in 2015. Fair. Okay. Yeah. Until it's all fun and games until someone loses a tooth. Wayne, this is an awesome site. You'll have a blast with this one. All right, let's look at the lineups here for these two red squads. So they're there. You can see them. It's pretty much. So now the only thing is, bearing in mind that this is not going to change rotations, we can swap them out for another player. So if we wanted to switch out, no, I just not what I wanted to do. Let's just clear this and get out of it. If I click on Don Gullett, then maybe I could pick another pitcher or whatever. But right now, what it's going to do is this is going to be a series of, I believe, 5,000 games or something like this. So it's going to be Don Gullett and Gary Nolan pitching. Okay, and then you can switch out. You can play with lineups. Have fun with this. This is fun. So here we go. Boom. 5,000 simulations that it's doing right now. Doesn't take long at all. And it's going to show the first 25. All right, and the results are in. The 76, the 1975 Reds, I'm sorry, would be the winner, won 60.32% of the time. So the 1976 Cincinnati Reds won 39.68% of these games. And it will show you the first 25 of the 5,000 simulations it ran, along with the scores. You can click on any one of these, look at the box scores, see how everybody did. So again, fun stuff. So yeah, if you want you want to switch out whoever you want to switch out, you can. So you can modify the simulation. Give it a second here. Switch out anybody you want. Switch in people you want. All right. So if you don't want Vukovic in there, you would just pick somebody else and put them in there. You can adjust the lineups, do whatever you want. Okay. You can do this with any two teams at all. Okay. So there you go, guys. And as Clinton Parks does wisely say, one of our statesmen here, he says, "Settle an argument in baseball? Are you kidding? Absolutely, right?" Or, and that's the beautiful. I think that's one of the other things that makes baseball so beautiful, is that you're not we're not going to settle this argument, but it's fun. So maybe what we'll do is set up a little 7-game series, or maybe a best of 3 against these two teams. Let the community pick the lineups, pitchers, all that. Bearing in mind again that this was just using Gullett and Nolan, and using just that lineup. So you could tinker with it. A fun way maybe to play with that site is like, well, no, I want this lineup, and let's see how this lineup's going to do against that lineup. Just play with it. Back to Baseball tracks players' careers in very, very, very interesting ways. Of course, I forget what date it starts, but you can actually just quote unquote watch, or if you can stand the Microsoft narrator, listen to most games played in baseball history. It's super cool. There's no other site like backtobaseball.com. Just check it out. I'm gonna call the game being played today the hit 'em out, strike 'em out baseball. How about it? It is. It's not a very nuanced game. That Clinton, I totally agree with you. All right, the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks. Okay, don't jump around there. There we go. Um, Again, I don't know. Again, just as a one and done tournament, this is just fun, and it's a chance for me to play around with different teams because I want to try something in the McGreevy League using this at the after the season, even though the McGreevy League will go into a World Series, if there's enough interest and we get enough players in the upcoming McGreevy League, which is going to be 1871 to 1919, so we're going backwards 11 more seasons, whatever. It'd be fun to maybe do like create a mini tournament then of those teams. So we'll see. But that's also, and I just love doing these things. Kind of mix it up because I've noticed I've been kind of playing the same old this league and that league and the Miss League, and these are a lot more fun, I think, or equally as fun. How about that? Okay, the 2002 Anaheim Angels, and it helps me too, guys. I'm so much learning about. I'm still. Why is this thing going nuts? Um, I have so much to learn about this game. That's why I don't play with fictional player type things because I have so much to learn about baseball. And yeah, who do we say? Anaheim. There we go. Thank you for being at the top. Thank you for being the first letter of the alphabet. All right, 2003 Florida Marlins. Now, some people might argue, well, how about the 1977 Marlins instead? Um, so if these 2003 Florida Marlins get knocked out, then maybe in the next time we do this, we'll substitute in the 1977 Marlins. I was gratified to see Jimmy Leyland getting a world championship. Some people argue that was bought, whatever. He still got a world championship, so I'm happy for Jimmy because he didn't get one in Pittsburgh. All right. Okay, so I don't like that this jumps around like that. It gives me a sense of vertigo here or something. Okay, there we go. Boink. Okay. Five more to go. 2007 Rockies. Now it's Moneyball time, huh? There we go. So with the Action PC one, this will go a little faster. I'll just do a couple teams and then sign off for that because, but that one is different. I want you guys to know that the Pocket Pennant Run one will be a bit more work because there's not a league editor in that. So hopefully that's something that's down the line too, is you can create your own leagues and things like that. So the Pocket Pennant Run is going to be the one that's going to be the most work to do. GT Dutch. So the 76 won your sim. Cool. Let me see if I can bring that up. Can I bring that up? Yep, I can show it to you guys. Results are in, although it's giving me this weird blanked out screen. Why is it doing that? You guys can't see this too well, but the 76 Reds in his sim, or no, that's still mine. It won't let me show you yours, unfortunately, JT, but I trust you. I trust you. Yeah, Pocket Pennant Run. No, read it wrong. You're bad. Okay. Pocket Pennant Run will keep me off the streets. Yeah. That it will. I am. I'm in love with that game. I am in love with that game. All right. Anyhow, where'd my stupid list go? Did it go away? No, there it is. All right. Where are we? 2008 Tampa Bay Rays. Rays just blanked my buckos yesterday. God, we suck this year. Oh my God. This is like such a bad start. At least last year and the year before, we had a hot beginning of the season, but oh man, we're just like we're pretty pathetic this year so far. I'm hoping we catch fire later. We have our passions, and that what makes our group great. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, Yeah. 2011, Philadelphia Phillies. Cousin Ken is going to be rooting for these guys. So it'd be fun to have him involved in this. Okay. Two more to go, guys. 2011 Texas Rangers again. Because this article was written in 2017, we're not going to put in the world champion Rangers, but at least the Rangers, that was a fine team in 2011 that they had. Yeah, it really was. And this one's for Robbie. This one's for Robbie. Okay, and lastly, the 2015 Kansas City Royals. And then we'll make some decisions here, and then we'll get this puppy set up and ready to rock and roll. Okay, guys. So there are 32 teams all in. We're going from 1902 to 2015. So game era and strategy. Dutch is JT taking off. Says, "All right, guys, take care. Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Always good to have you in here. I wish I could do more daytime broadcasts because I know this is the best time for you to get in. Hey, Baseball Dreamland is in here. Baseball Dreamland. He says, hello there. Looks like an all-time best team tournament. Yeah, so tell you what I'm going to do for you because I put this in the chat already. This is a great article. This was done by Boston.com, Baseball Dreamland. So, I was like looking around, I was like, what else? I want to do something with tournaments again and out of the park baseball. But we're going to do this out of the park baseball, action PC, and pocket pennant run baseball. So 3 games. I might be a madman and add a 4th for the second round or something. But yeah, it's a great article. Written by a bunch of AP writers got together and did this, and it's already engendered some good discussions. Okay, so part of me, I think, to make this fair, maybe we should do default modern era. Cross era is always tricky, and to just pick a year here at random to say, oh, let's play this in, in one of these years, right? I mean, do we pick the decade that it's pretty evenly spread out. So I gave the bitch of the day actually, and so um, the next time you type, you might want to catch the beginning of this stream. You'll see as soon as you type. Yep. So go back and watch the beginning of the stream. And if I were you, I would keep myself in line. Anyhow, you want to reach out to me in Discord, that's fine. Don't do it here. I don't need the whole story. Stop. Right now, stop. Just stop. You want to talk to me on Discord? We will. Another word about this now, and you're gone. I mean it. Okay? You lost the wrench, dude. This, I know this guy, and I know you. All right, thank you. Guys, I think leaving this at default modern era is probably going to be best. Just because whether it's going to be fair, we can tweak it. Okay, Sean, one more word about that, and I'm gonna ban you. So stop. Just stop. All right. Yep. All right, and we're going to use end of season rosters. 25 player active roster limit, I think, is good enough because we have injuries disabled. Okay, let's create this exhibition. It takes a little bit to set this up. It's doing this. It's picking this up for 32 teams. And thanks, guys, for suggesting the 32 teams, because you're right. For a tournament layout, it makes a lot more sense, and allowed us to bring in the 24 senators and the 22 brownies. So it should be fun. Yeah, it can sim the games, and some of these we will certainly. Yep. Okay. Don't have issues with out of the. I don't have issues, says Clinton Park, with out of the park used server to make it go. Yeah, in the database in this, it's kind of insane. So we're just gonna let it spinny here for a minute, and so again, this is just gonna be you're out, you're out. So I'll show you in the next screen how we do this. So Action PC is your main game. So Wayne, you probably already know how to do this in Action PC Baseball. Oh yeah, this database is dwarfs it dwarfs it. And actually, um, Pocket Pennant runs combined databases are larger than this, so pretty gargantuan. All right, these are set to go now. Um, what we're gonna it's already set up the seedings for us. So we're gonna try what we'll do with these, because you have to set your own seedings. If you're doing one out from the beginning of Action PC Baseball, we're gonna preserve these seedings. And hey, look at this, man. So the 1902 Pirates and the 1976 Reds going to lock up. So round one, these are all just going to be, everything is going to be best of one. Everything is going to be best of one just in this thing. Because if not, this is going to take bloody forever. All right. So there we go. Round one, round two, right? I just want everything to be just best of one. That's it. You got to fight your way to the top. You lose, you lose. You snooze, you lose. Now you can switch to anything that you want here, but I'm just going to leave these default settings or these default settings. So tape saturator, yeah, he says he put Out of the Park 26 on Steam Deck. He says works surprisingly well, even though the screen is a bit small. All right. Okay. Yeah. No, I know you do tease Clinton. I get it. I completely get it, and it's so cool. Um, come on, we all take the piss a little bit, but we don't get mean about it. We all do take the piss on each other, and I like that. All right, let's go ahead and confirm this. It's going to be a just your basic regular boom confirm. We're not going to get fancy on this one. All right. So now the way that this works in here, of course, is you can switch around. You can go to, again, we already did our teams and roles. You can look at rosters and lineups. We can make any changes that we want here. Again, this is something you got to go around and play with. Okay. You can select from any of these teams, look at whatever you want. Let's look at the lineups here, for instance, for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And it's going to be Clark, Beaumont, Wagner, Leach, Ritchie, Bransfield, Sebring, and O'Connor. That would be versus righties. Okay. We also have the depth here, and we can, again, so much that you can change in this. 5-man rotation, all of this is fine. Let's look at these 76 Reds, for instance. And yes, it's doing it by, there we go. So we'd have Griffey, Rose, Morgan, Foster, Perez, Bench, and Concepcion. So I don't know, maybe do we want, Johnny Bench? I mean, they're so stacked. So stacked. So again, good stuff here. And just looking at rosters. So yeah, there we go. Let's look at matchups here. So there they are. Oh, screen looks a little bit different this year from last year. I like it, and of course these are the proper logos. Proper logos. And it's ready to go. It is ready to go. So that's how you do it. Now, the only thing that you want to do at this point, all right, so you go to play ball, You got to look at all these tabs. And if you were to play, so if you created this tournament on your own or any sort of tournament, just be careful of the finish today button. Don't click that until you know you're done with whatever round. So round one, um, there's oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was I read that wrong. So it's going to be the Royals versus the Pirates. So it should be fun. And then if we, um, we if just go all the way across and what have you. So nobody in round one. There's round two, but this is ready to go. It is ready to play. All right. Then just go to the out of the park start screen. So it's going to save everything, and then all you want to do is rename it. Okay. So you're just going to load the game. You look for that historical exhibition. Where did it go here? There it goes. You see where it says Pittsburgh 1902 Pirates. That's just because it was the first team that we selected. We're just going to rename this to the Boston com. So I don't think it will let us do .com. I don't want to try it, mess it up. Okay, the Boston com Boston com teams. That's good enough. Then just remember to rename it, and Bob's your uncle. So we're now ready to go. That's it. All you got to do. This tournament is ready to go. The next time that we do the tournament thing, the next game will be Action PC. Historical exhibition. Would I like to? Yes, I would. So what will happen is if you click no, this will actually make this into a league. But there's better ways to do a league, so always click yes. And it is good to go, baby. Let me get a little. There we go. It's a little squiffy there. You got to kind of muck about with your mouse there. So the Mariners and the Athletics. God, this is going to be so much fun. All right. Surprised, not best of three. So yeah. So that's for this. I just wanted to do just one and done. So maybe for this one, because with all of the with the three baseball games that I'm doing with this, I'm still weighing whether I want to do this in Diamond Mine baseball. I've got to make sure I have all these teams. I think I do for Diamond Mine, but I'm not sure. Is that this is going to be easy to switch out, a little bit easier to switch out. With Action PC, I would have to bring in another team, take out that other team, and and make sure that season's installed, or if they are available on the baseball's top 160 teams, rather than me uh, installing 32 seasons. So don't fast play this game. This just looks badass. All right. Yeah, we could. Can you sim a game just to see how to sim it? If you don't want, tell you what I'll do, because I don't want to sim this one. Let me set up a quick World Series real fast. Okay, this is super easy. So let's go back to our out of the park start screen, and we're going to set up a super short tournament. Okay, so a new game, and we'll go to historical exhibition, and we'll just quick play a series. Let's select a World Series, and since the Reds got a lot of love today, let us pick the 1975 World Series. Okay. Since Wayne's the one asking for it, we'll pick the 75 series. So here we go. Gives you a nice recap, by the way, if you are playing World Series, guys. So I'm not going to do the recap. We will do the milestone, though, because the milestone's pretty cool. You guys already know all this stuff. So Frank Robinson became the first African-American manager in the majors. What a proud moment. 1975, huh? Hired by the Cleveland Guardians, which... So um, we can't... You can't... I don't think you can't change names in tournament mode, unfortunately. So if we were doing Cleveland World Series, you're stuck with Guardians. If you're playing in-game, you can change it to Indians. That's all right. Ralph Kiner, Earl Averill, and Billy Herman became Hall of Famers in 1975. Following the 1975 seasons, pitchers Andy Messersmith, Dave McNally were declared free agents after the Players Association challenged baseball's long-standing reserve clause, paving the way for free agency in baseball. So what a year in 75, huh? All right, so you can, the other thing you can do is kind of just, let's turn off injuries, because we just want to just sim this thing up. If you want to be 25, you want to go to 40, you can set your play, all this stuff down here. DH is off, obviously. And let's do it. You're welcome, Clinton. All right, this is ready to go. So if we wanted to set lineups, we can, right? All that stuff, I've already gone through it. This will be fine just um, for this. Okay, so here we go. Let's just play ball. And so if I hit play, it's gonna we would actually jump in and play the game. But we're just gonna simulate. So that's what we're gonna do. So game one, Luis Tiant versus Don Gullet. Simulate. And game one. So Cincinnati wins this one 3-2. We can look at a box score. There it is. Cincinnati Reds started the World Series in dramatic fashion, stealing game one from the Red Sox in a walk-off in the 17th inning. Holy shit. The 75 Reds took the 3-2 win thanks in large part to a good day from starter Don Gullet. The left-hander threw 7 innings of 5 hit ball in the win, which gave the Reds a 1-0 lead to start the best-of-7 series. Batting in the bottom of the 17th, 5-time All-Star George Foster had a real shot to win the game. Boston pitcher Bill Lee was determined not to let it happen, but with 1 out, Foster hit a run-scoring single. The Reds had a walk-off triumph. So, um, pretty cool stuff. Player of the game, of course, Don Gullet. So, Bill Lee getting tagged with the loss. So Tiant went 8 2/3 in this one. Gullet went 7. Jack Billingham actually gets the win for the Reds. So wow, that would have been fun. But wow, 17 innings of craziness. The Reds 3 runs, 17 hits, 3 errors. The Red Sox 2 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. Yep, 17 innings, and it is that easy. Okay, so how about that? Isn't that fun? That is fun. So we go back to play ball. So once you go back to play ball, here's where you would click finish today. Remember, in our tournament, we've got a ton of teams. So if you actually want to see games, if you finish today, it's going to autoplay every game in any sort of tournament that has more than 2 teams. So we'll just finish today. And now this is going to be Roger Moret and Gary Nolan. And we'll just go ahead and sim this one too. So the Red Sox come back and defeat the Reds 4-3, and Freddie Lynn homers for Boston and Dan Dreesen for Cincinnati. You can also get the game log here, and that is the complete game log. So one thing not available in tournament mode or exhibition mode is in the regular game you can actually watch highlight reels and you can watch the actual game replay. You can't do that here. But let's look at our game recap. Why not do the 1975 World Series really, really fast? Huh? All right, the Red Sox clipped the Reds. When the games really matter, the Red Sox put on their best show, beating the Reds by a final score of 4-3. Gary Nolan threw 8 innings of shutout ball. The series now sits at 1-1 in the best-of-7. Rick Burleson, who's a 4-time All-Star, had a direct impact on the outcome. Burleson contributed a run-scoring single in the top of the ninth to put Boston up 3-2. So there we go. Then just go back to play ball. And again, you can set, if you're actually playing something like this and you want to put your own hand into it, you can set lineups for both teams. So up here you would do that. You can look at, you can ask the AI. This is the versus righty versus lefties, and then we can look at Cincinnati. So just pretty easy navigation around here. So you can change up whatever you want. All right, we'll go back to play ball. Let's finish today, and because it's simulating a travel day. And now we are in Boston. Pat Darcy versus Rick Wise at Fenway. Here we go. And look at this. The Sox up 2-1 now. They defeat the Reds 10-6. Home runs. Joe Morgan had the home run. Reggie Cleveland with the win. Pat Darcy with the loss. Let's look at the box score. Riding the 4-hit performance of catcher Carlton Fisk, the Red Sox stopped the Reds 10-6 in Game 3 of the World Series. So it's interesting that they can use the term World Series in here. Because they can because this is Right, it's licensed by Major League Baseball, so they can use that term, which is really cool. Fisk was 4 for 5 with 4 singles and a walk while scoring 3 runs for the Red Sox. Pudge, what a day, huh, guys? Red Sox who now lead the best of 7, 2-1. Dwight Evans hit a 2-run double off Pat Darcy in the bottom of the fourth, which put the Red Sox in front 7-5. In addition to the double, Evans had 3 singles while going 4 for 5. Player of the game in this one, guys, was Carlton Fisk. Line score 10, 15, and 0 for the Red Sox, 6, 12, and 3 for the Reds. So let me see. Did any of those come back to bite? Nope. So the errors weren't costly. Okay, cool. All right, fun stuff. Moving along, moving along. All right, we're down to 8 viewership, but I want to finish this out because now I'll just delete this because you only have limited space here for the number of projects you can do. Fred Norman, Jim Burton, Game 4 of a World Series when it's like this. Can the Red Sox take a 3-1 lead? Nope. They cannot. So the Reds come back and defeat the Red Sox 3-2 on this one. Dan Dreesen hitting his second home run of this World Series. Norman gets the win. Willoughby takes the loss. Raleigh Eastwick with the save. Let's quick look at the box score. 3-8-1 for the Reds. 2-2-1 for the Red Sox. Handed an opportunity to take a commanding lead in the World Series, the Red Sox could not close the deal. Game 4 went into extra innings as I light a stogie here. And the Reds emerged victorious, taking a 10-inning 3-2 win. Cincinnati pitcher Fred Norman threw 5 innings of 2-hit ball in the win at Fenway to drag the Reds back to parity. The Clubs are now tied 2 games apiece in the best of 7 series. Norman, the Cincinnati left-hander, went 9 innings, allowing 2 runs on 2 hits and collected 5 strikeouts. Good stuff. All right. Might as well just finish this out. Right. Okay. Here we are. Game 5, series tied at 2. I almost hit play. And Cincinnati now leads this series. Look at our box score here. All right, riding the 2-hit performance of second baseman Joe Morgan, the Reds got a road win against the 75 Red Sox, 8-5 in Game 5 of the World Series. Morgan went 2 for 4 with a triple, a double, and a walk, while adding 4 RBI and scoring once for the Reds, who now lead the best of 7 series 3-2. Who knows how it might have ended had it not been for Pete Rose. The Cincinnati third baseman had a run-scoring walk in the top of the 6th to put the Reds on top 4-1. For the game, Rose had 1 double and 1 single in 3 at-bats. Okay, we're going on our way back to Riverfront Stadium. And yes, by the way, if you have Mike's Ballpark mod, the parks will be properly assigned. Yep, Reds 1 win away here, Wayne. Here we go. Let's finish this one. Travel day. And we are at Riverfront Stadium. Can the Reds win it today? The World Series is over. It went 6. That is it. Let us look at the box score. So no game, no dramatics or anything like that. This one wasn't even close. Ouch. Cincinnati Reds champions today and forever. Topped the Red Sox 7-1 at Riverfront Stadium to claim the World Series crown. And then this does just fun, sort of recap writing. So the Reds handily took this one 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Boston just 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error. So Gary Nolan went the distance in this and struck out 3. So in your play of the game, and this one is Gary Nolan. So when you go back to play ball and you finish today, this will go gray, and that's all. You're done. Bob's your uncle. Ouch. How about it? All right. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, I'm going to close this off too. Thank you for coming in, guys. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for helping me set this up. For those of you hanging around, you want to know how to get rid of things in a game, you just go to load game, and this historical exhibition, just click it and delete it. Because this is something out of the park baseball needs to work on. You only have limited spots for projects. That's it. So I was starting to do. We're gonna have to do it a third time, cousin Ken, if you catch this at the end. I accidentally was creating something to show something to somebody, and it got rid of the 1915 World Series. So we're gonna have to bring that back. Providence Grays, we're gonna go ahead and just knock this one out because this is being weird. So we're gonna delete that too. So now I have two open spots. All right, that's it. That's it. Now I can make two more projects. Action PC doesn't care how many projects you have, and I'm getting, neither does Pocket Pen or Run. So come on out of the park. At least do that, huh? All right. I want to thank. We topped out today at 19. So thank you everybody. So thank you to Wayne 19563, to Clinton Parks, um, Sean. I do appreciate you. We will get together and talk at some point soon on Discord. I've taken the day off for mental health day from work, so thank you, Sean, for coming in. I do mean that. All right, JT Dutch was here. Baseball Dreamland, Baseball Dreamland. Hope to see you again in here, so I can give you a wrench, buddy, and Wayne as well. Um, Aaron Reed, thank you, Aaron. Aaron, maybe I'll reach out to you in Discord. I know you want some tutelage on Baseball for Windows. Philip Reynolds was here. Philip Reynolds, excellent channel. D. Scott Howard, thank you, D. Scott. The Professor Clinton Park Sports Time Machine. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I missed you, buddy. I must have been looking at the screen or doing something. Truth Hurts Wokey was in here. Thank you, my good friend. Um, Boy, who else? Tony M was here on or early on in this rather long broadcast. I didn't expect it to go almost 2 hours. The other ones go faster. Cousin Ken Castro, he's out to lunch, and he was the first one in today. All right. Yeah, man. Great to see you too, Tape Saturator. Keep making the music, bud. We got to talk music sometime. All right. Till I see you guys around the batting cage. It might even be this afternoon. Who knows? It might even be in 2 minutes. I don't know. Take care.